spring break in the days of slavery, you would go to the plantation after you leave school, and you would rape black women to break your virginity so you wouldn't be a virgin no more. You would rape the slave, right? And so this is what we celebrate. So you do history on words, and you'll find out that what you're celebrating. And you have people even like Kaepernick, right? Kaepernick knows, because he studied, and when you play football, you go to college, you learn some stuff. And sometime in the family you grow up in, they teach you to study things, to study your history. So he seeked and found out things that the average person doesn't know. The national anthem, right? The real national anthem that was made out, you don't really hear it now, but the original national anthem stood for and said things like niggas and this and that, and it was promotion of racism, in other words, right? So when he's saying, I'm not standing up for that, he knows something because of his history, right? And they showed, what's the name? I don't know how big they're gonna do it, it might not mess with them. They showed Jay-Z and his wife at the game. And they did the national anthem. Jay-Z said something against Kaepernick, I believe, too. But he didn't get up. Him and his wife sat there, and when everybody else stood up for the national anthem, they just were sitting there eating their chips, you know. Their little baby didn't stand up. Whatever her name is. What's her name? Blue Ivy. Blue Ivy. I don't know. Where do you get that name at? Okay, so I guess when you got money, you can name your kid Blue something. Baby Blue. Yeah. So it's a lot of history. So it's interesting where we go, and like, you guys ever hear of, you ever heard of Black Wall Street? Mm-hmm. Right. But you really, if you don't know, Black Wall Street was a town of blacks. The next town over, like over the railroad tracks, was another town of all Caucasian people. And in this town, you know, this normal white wealth and businesses and all that, barbershops. Well, this neighborhood over here said, we're tired of going over there spending our money and getting treated real bad. Let's do our own. Since they told us to stay over here, let's build our own hotels. Let's build our own houses. Let's build our own businesses, right? And this town of blacks were thriving. They were having money, right? It was like almost millionaires way back in the 20s and all that, right? So there was a white woman that got in the elevator, and a black guy came into the elevator. The light went out in the elevator, something like some story I heard. And the light came back on. It wasn't on for long. So the woman was like, she got scared, either from the light going off or also here's a black guy in there. And he didn't do anything to her, right? So they were like, what's going on with that black man? Whatever. So then that story got changed into, he did something to me. He raped me. He attacked me. He didn't do anything to her, right? So they locked him up. The town came to go inspect what's going on with the brother. It was blacks standing up for blacks at this time. Wasn't no black on black killings or nothing going on at this time. So they went to go check it out. They went in armies in large numbers, right? Some people stayed in town at their businesses and all that. They was like, man, let our partner go, let our friend go. When you need some money to bail him out, while this was going on, they said National Guards, they said police, they came in helicopters, they came in all kind of stuff, and came to this town dropping fire bombs onto the buildings. They set their whole town on fire. Explosive, all that. It was a planned thing, right? And so in history, in the history books, they very seldomly talk about this thing. right? And the first stock market, right? They say was in where the stock market is now.
New York. You about New York?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they say at the bottom of where they doing the stocks and all that we watch on TV, that was the first place that they brought the first slave, right? And auctioned them off as a stock.
Damn.
As a stock, right? And so that was something, right? And how history, but it's a good thing, right? To find out stuff, right? A person doesn't even have to look like you, but just to get history about life and about what happened before this, right? We think we're doing so bad now, but we have no idea what your ancestors went through, right? You know what I'm saying? I have no real idea of what maybe someone else in power have done to your people, right? I don't know, right? But it's good to find out so I can have more understanding, so I can get more understanding and say, you know what? Man, they come a long way too. You know, these people, man, you know, to be respected. They'll be respected, you know? And so, and sometimes even your own people, when you find out who great grandpa was, sometimes you think you a weakling. You think you come from a bad stock of people, of weaklings. And then you go doing a little history of what you came from or who you came from. You telling me my forefathers was kings and queens? Grandma was a whatever, Mason or somebody of authority? Yeah. What? My uncle was a partner owning Clorox? You know, the Clorox bleach? Wow. You never know, right? So, in order to find out who one is, who you are, you must find out where you come from, right? I don't know if that makes any sense.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm thankful for the little history too. My little history is watching my mother's, right? My grandmother died when my mother was 12 from leukemia and cancer. My mother ended up dying from leukemia too. When my mother was 12 years old, my mother used to walk and when my grandmother was sick, they stayed in Louisiana. My mother walked several miles to the white people's houses to clean their toilets and cook for their families. My mother was a short lady, so I imagine how short she was at 12. No, 10 to 12. She did it for a couple of years. So she would go and do this and that. Most of the pay was, you can have the rest of the food, of the leftovers, right? And it's a degrading thing because go in there and wash them toilets. You have to wash toilets. You have to feel less than. You have to you couldn't look inside. A black person couldn't look in the face of a white person. You were not allowed to do that. You had to hold your head down. All right? Hold your head down. Mentally is a controlling thing when you have to hold your head down.
Right. When you're on drugs.
Right, yeah. It's like exactly. See, you're feeling down.
Yeah.
You're feeling down. When I was on drugs, I'm glad you said that. Thank you, my man. When I was on drugs, guess what I did all night?
That's when you know that I'm
I was like, I'm talking about, you know, you can easily get hit by a car. You know, you're walking like a mile or something, feet hurting, want to take your shoes off, and you keep going. Oh, there goes something. And she do.
That's right.
Then you go, and you try to bite it. It's not a crack rock. It's not. It's a real rock. You done bit this thing and broke your teeth. Right? But you're tweaked out. So I heard someone say, if life seems to shake you up, send you through trials and tribulations, and seems to knock you off your feet, it says, try your best to land on your back. It says, because if you land on your back, brothers, you'll be in a position of looking up. It says, if you can look up, you can get up. Right? So one must stop looking down And I used to mentally, even on the drugs, I used to say, man, there's nothing down there. You gotta pick your head up. Don't let this thing get you down like that. Pick your head up. Just believe something's gonna happen. And I used to work that sometimes. I had to, man, because this is gonna put a crick in your neck. Looking down, there's nothing down there. Life is about looking up, not looking down, right? You ask yourself, okay, well, what about the snakes that's trying to pull you down and bite you? Okay, well, they got snakes, right? I heard somebody say that if you are on a plane or somewhere in life and you see some snakes trying to attack you, he said, imagine you're on a plane, right? Pull the throttle back, right? And go higher. Because snakes can survive at a high altitude, right? They can't survive at a high altitude. So you pull it up, right? Get on Southwest or something, right? And say, wow. And they fall off, right? Because they used to you stand down there with them. So they can get a good bite, right? And slither on the ground. But they can't slither if they up in the air.
Right.
So you kill them off like that. So I'm just glad you're here, you know. So it's I had a teacher, right, years ago. Her name was Dr. Arrington. She went to Merritt College, but Dr. Arrington also taught at Castlemont. Dr. Arrington she graduated school probably 14 years old, she's 14, and she graduated early, she went on to college, she did a lot of stuff, she was from back south. Dr. Arrington was working and teaching Black history at Castlemont at the times of, around the start of the Black Panthers, right? And so Huey and some of his brother and some of his people, they came to Castlemont and said, hey, we want to give you a job. They said, where? Because they were also college students. Huey and them were college students. I don't know if you guys knew that the Black Panthers, what you hear about, they were school students. It wasn't thugs like people thought. So they came to Castlemont. They said, hey lady, hey doctor, we want you to come up to, go up to Merritt College, and we want you to teach at Merritt College, what you're teaching down here at Castlemont. She said, teach. We said, yeah. We don't have any Black history classes in the college. They're teaching European history, they're teaching other history, but they're not teaching Black history. They give you 28 days to celebrate Black history, and really it should be celebrated around the year, every day even, right? It should not be limited to, we'll just do it, right? We'll just have a parade and leave it at that. It's much bigger than that. So, anyway, they have different books and different history. Even I've taken that it doesn't always interest you when you don't see yourself in the book. When you talk about Socrates and you talk about these different names and stuff like that, it's like, it sound like my racist names. Who was these people, right? And so you get instilled with just seeing heroes that look different than you, right? You don't see heroes that might have been like your uncle or your cousin or anything. So it can do things to a group of people mentally, right? Anyway, Dr. Arrington, when I met her, I had heard a lot about her, and I saw her in the lunchroom getting some kind of snack or coffee. I said, "Hi, Dr. Arrington, how you doing?" She said, "I'm fine. Who are you?" I said, "My name is James Horton, and I heard a lot about you, Dr. Arrington, and I would love to take your class." You know, I said, "But I tried to get on your schedule, but your class was full." She said, go to the dentist's office, get an add-on slip and come back and see me. I'll be in my office. I'll be in my classroom. So I ran, go get the thing. She signed it, took it back to the office, and I was in her class. Now, I said to her, it's interesting what people can teach you. I said to her, I did very poorly in her class because my reading skills were so poor. But I participated every week. She would say, I want you to tell us about a racial experience that you had, right, in your lifetime or something. So I never did that in school. I raised my hand down to speak up, even when I used to be fearful to speak. And I said, yeah, so I raised my hand too. So it was like, then it came time where she had wrote a book, and she had this big old book selling at the school, and they let her have the auditorium and all that. And she said, can you watch the parking lot and tell everybody where to go? So I went out to the parking lot and I directed them. They were serving food. It was really nice. So then she sat down with me. She said, Mr. Horton? I said, yes. She said, what grade do you want? Right? He said, I'm going to tell you straight up, you have not been turning in your assignments, right? You turned in stuff, but it was very poor. It could have been a lot better. And but I'm just asking. You know, it's a big thing when somebody asks you instead of just serving you. And she said, what grade do you want? I don't know. She said, wait a minute, young king. Did you hear what the hell I just asked you? Scared of the grandmas in there. She said, don't answer nobody like that again. You speak up for yours. You don't speak up for yours, you'll be held back for the rest of your goddamn life. She said, I'm gonna ask you again, what grade do you want? I said, I want an A. She said, you got it.
Yeah. Of course, we asked, man. That's what you
Right.
wanted, right?
She said, I want a man as yourself to stand up and speak up for yours. Don't hold your head down. Don't be afraid to whatever. Oh, she was a trip. She was a trip. They had this thing, my experience at Mary College, they had this thing that talked about the Panthers. In one of the rooms, they got Huey Newton and Bobby Seals sitting in a chair, right? Huey sitting down, another dude, and they got these staffs and standing up like that, you know, like. And they said, oh no, we can't have them up there. They're dope things. You know, they mess with the crystals and all that and the little funny pipes. Don't mess with them. They mess with the hair around like this used to do. They don't mess with them. They ain't cool. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, and then they was, right, so my other teacher name was Melvin Newton. Melvin Newton was, you know, Huey's brother. So Melvin, short like me, he put on, you never seen him dressed like this. He got one of them tabs, hats on that the Panthers wore, had the leather coat on, like he had pulled it out the closet. And he walked out and they had the Channel 2 News there. He said, what the hell do you mean they were dope things? What about the sickle cell anemia that they started? Sickle cell anemia treatment for kids and for other people. What about the free lunch program? What about this? What about all what they did for the community? Every time when my mother went to work and we didn't have food to feed our families, and this went for everybody, Spanish groups, whoever, at the parks, all you had to do is go up to the park, any park around Oakland, right? They gave you lunches, right? Nice sandwiches made up.
They still do.
I don't know, they got some other groups doing it now, but at this time, it was funded by them. It wasn't funded by the government. It was money that they was getting, and they were feeding people. They were feeding people. They might have had something to do with the free cheese, black cheese, I don't know. But they were doing that, and it helped a lot of people, a lot of people. Now later on, the drugs came in and offset some stuff, but they really made an impact. So anyway, I was up there, and I learned a lot from Ms. Lady. And she was like really telling me who I was, that I'm somebody. And she was like, if you want something, you have to go out and get it. And that's why I'm coming here. When I tell you guys the same thing, if you want something, you gotta be serious to get it. sometimes when you want to regain something, right, and you want to even make a good shot at regaining, you can't play with it. You can't take a vacation and say, well, I'm going to try now, and then I'm going to go back to the drugs, or I'm going to go back to this, and then as long as I get so-and-so back and my family back, well, no, you got to drop some stuff to have some stuff. You cannot take it to put it all together. It doesn't mix. It's like sweet water or clear water and bitter water trying to roll down the same stream. It don't work, right? You can't, oh, I'm going to put a little oil in it. I put a little oil in the water and let it flow down. No, can't nobody drink no clear water and oil water together. It's poison, right? So you got to let something go to get something. You can't, nobody wants me. And that's why I didn't really be in relationships when I was on drugs. Because I was not cool. I knew it wasn't cool. I walked away from a good relationship. I walked away from a good relationship. I walked from High Street to Sobrante Park, and I stayed there for over 14, 15 years with nowhere to stay, no clothes to change into. Even if I had the clothes to change into, they were too big because I had lost so much weight. I couldn't fit them no more. Right? And so it was like that. No friends no more. You know, you can hold on to a few friends when you take care of yourself. But as you stop taking care of yourself, friends begin to fall off. You know, then they see you and look. Let's say it's 13 dudes talking and they're all your friends. When you come outside, toe up and walk in, hey, what's up, y'all? As soon as I get to the crowd, they all walk away. They all scatter. That didn't feel good. That didn't feel good. And so in order to have something, it's just like if you have a bad relationship you're in. You want God to give you a good relationship of somebody new, somebody fresh, no scars, no marks, no bad hits on this relationship. Well, in order for this God to bless you with something new, you cannot have something old and rotten in your hand. It doesn't fit. It doesn't mix. You have to clean your hands off. Get rid of the bad. Get rid of the substance, the drug. Get rid of it. Be brave enough to say, I can do this without being high. The pain and hurt that I've been feeling by not having what I had and not being able to possess it and not being able to get rid of all the hurt that I caused, it's not even worth being high on.
Excuse me.
It's not even worth it. Right? So we got to make a decision. Do I trick somebody to allow them to come back and enter the insane world? I often ask myself in the course of being off drugs, do I want my son to follow in my footsteps? Would I like my son to start picking up needles and base pipes and smoking crack and using heroin? Would I want my son to be homeless for 14, 15 years? Well, the possibility of role modeling, right, makes all that happen, right? Children don't know how to become something most of the time on their own. Children don't know how to walk on their own, right? What happens is, as a child is a little baby, 1, 1.5, almost 2, they look and they crawl, and then they, right? Because they're watching you and you walk. So they look and they say, I see something, I want to do that. They don't have any insight if they're supposed to walk on all fours, on their hands and knees, but they're watching you. Right? They're watching you. They didn't just do that on their own. They're doing it because they're watching you. Right? Development, watching you. Now, if I'm all the time in front of my little ones, not knocking what to do, or what you do and what you don't do, that weed is bad, I'm not saying that. But if children are watching something, they're copying something, right? There was an incident, I don't know if you guys know the strength of what methadone is. I told you earlier that it can last over 24 hours or 48 hours in your system and keep you from feeling sick from the non-use of heroin. There was a child, when I worked for the methadone clinic, I told her the story that they allow some people to take home packages. You have to get a safe or a little lockbox with it. You have to put that, they'll give you the medicine to take home. Or you'll have to come back to the clinic for 2 weeks. So this one guy had opened one of the things, took it out of the lockbox and left it on the table. Somebody came over his house and he went outside to see and go talk to him. His 4-year-old daughter was walking around and thought that this little thing was Kool-Aid. And she turned it up and drank it. And it killed her.
Like right then and there?
Yeah.
Damn.
It killed her. Maybe 5 minutes later, she died. It stopped her heart from pumping. But we're careless. We all think that I can drive good being high. We all think that I can take this and it won't hurt me, right? I can take somebody else's drug and it won't hurt me, right? But there are dangers with us because we want this. We don't want to use over somebody else's house. We want to use at our own house where the children are at, right? Where our great grandbabies are at. We just want to do it, you know? And we want a role model. And some of us don't want a role model, but we find ourselves role modeling because people are watching us. So we have to be careful, right? But the good thing about this thing called life, and thank God for Black History again, the big thing about this thing called life is that we got a chance to get better. The other good thing is that Black History, the meaning of Black History was just like the Hispanic groups and the tribes of Hispanics, they represent still to this day, and my thumbs up, is that of togetherness, right? Sometimes we veer off from the tribe because we want to do something that's not really respectable to the group, you know, to the tribe of people. And we know it. We know it's a violation. And they'll tell you too. You don't even want to go around it, right? Because you know what they're going to tell you. But because of the unit that they have, it's strong. It's strong. And in numbers, it's hella people coming together for celebrations, right? And so you don't want to be on the outside. I've been there. I had partners, I helped make money, and we had a lot of money, we had a lot of fun. And I was one of the special people in the thing. But when I was on drugs and they had picnics, guess what? I didn't go. Man, you ain't coming out to, no, look how I look, I'm dirty. I don't have my trucks no more. I don't want to go, man. I don't want to feel like a piece of shit. Nobody else would have said it, but I would have felt it. So we veer off from the tribe, right? Me, who I am today, I am willing to take the burden of the tribe without ever taking a bribe. You know, you guys write some of this stuff down. You know, willing to take the burden of the tribe without ever taking a bribe. I'm just, I'm here to say what other people can't say, right? I was talking to a guy the other day. He's involved with a lot of city stuff. He hang around a lot of places I hang around. But he got some juice with the mayors and different stuff. And he was watching, he'd be watching, I thought he'd be watching. And they watch me with my girl, and people say, he crazy, look how y'all going on there, bro. People think I'm going on my girl because I do stuff that the so-called cool guy won't do, right? Because cool guys go out and press other men by acting cool with them, but they're really acting stupid. All of y'all, don't come by me telling your girl because you want to stand with your fellas. Well, so me, you know, my girl was about this tall, but she slim. She grabbed my finger. She pulled me all over the place. Right? And they be like, man, look at you. I don't care about impressing you guys. Because at the end of the day, you're not supporting me. You're not feeding me. You're not laying down with me. That don't matter, right? Then we do stuff like we went to the store. Her daughter gave her a Gap, so they had some Gap fatigue sweatsuits, right? So I bought one, she bought me one, and I bought this, and she bought herself one. Now, we're gonna probably on one day, in a couple of weeks or something, be dressed alike. We've done this several times. A lot of people make fun of a man and his woman dressed alike. I probably have done that too, when I was younger. But when it gets to a place of not caring what they think, right? You get back in a place to invest in your relationship and not investing into what's outside of your relationship, right? It doesn't matter because people are gonna talk about you when you're doing good and they're gonna talk about you when you're doing bad. And you still ain't gonna have no extra food on the table from all that talk, right? So it don't matter. What matters is investing in you and your family. Don't forget you. Don't just invest in her and this, because you gotta keep you. You know what they used to do back in the day? In the Hispanic home and many other homes in the African American home, when it was time to cook dinner, even if it was 16 kids, do you know that your woman would make sure you got your plate before the 16 kids got their plate? Right? You might think that's selfish. Hello. You might think that's selfish, but he's going out busting his ass. We gotta make sure we take care of Pops, the father. We gotta keep him in order. Hopefully we won't slide off course and get that bubble thing in, smoke. Hopefully you don't go there. But if you don't go there and we can just feed him, let him rest, and make sure he eats a good strong meal, he can get up tomorrow and go back at it, and go back out there and make sure that we keep these bills paid. Right?
My bitch never had lunch for me, dinner for me.
Huh?
My female, she never had dinner for me, or she never ever made me lunch in 16 years. In 16 years.
Well, okay,
Yeah,
but you
yeah,
know,
I can relate to what you're
listen,
saying,
but
'cause
yeah, but you know the routine.
Yeah.
You know it from the grandfathers, your fathers, the males, and
Yeah.
okay, but at the same time, let's not let him get away. And you guys can help. Anytime you ever feel like teaming up against this dude, we're gonna get you at the same time, right? But the thing is, if he's veered off by his own choice, because the little kids didn't do it. Nobody brought Pops the pipe and the crystal and the stuff, right? So, most of the time, why should we sit and waste time to cook him a meal and he's over here with the bubble? That don't make sense, right? And they don't tell him what he's saying that's so radical, right? You don't even want to start a fire in the kitchen because that fire in the kitchen can cause an explosion of what he got going on over here. They don't mix. Now, if you keep yourself in order, you don't want to ever separate yourself from the realities of what we're talking about. You deserve a meal, right? But the guy that's high and bringing this into the house have violated the house rules. They're rules that you don't even make. Rules are supposed to be rules at all houses, right? When I wanted to get high and do some drugs up in my mama's house, I left the door open one time, and I'm like shooting some stuff up. I'm sitting up flat on the floor. My sister walked past the room and saw something tied around my arm. Ah! My mother said, "You get your ass out of here. You have violated the rules. You are not sane enough to be in this house." I left. It was, I can't say You know, but so sometimes the trick part in his story is I built it, so I should be able to do what I want to do.
No, this is what my deal, okay? So no matter if I was with a bubble or what, I'll still go to work. I'll still do whatever I had to do for the kids, for my 4 dogs, and for the house. Okay? Still.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, sir.
I have to tell you. Now I got you. I appreciate it,
Yeah.
and I believe everything you just said.
Yeah.
But again, there's a thing called subtraction, right? Subtraction. Subtraction is what he's doing. You are subtracting reality. You are subtracting. Subtracting is like a subtract. You are missing something. Missing something. You are missing something that. See, when you're out, many times people say I was at work, right? And I'm going to work and I'm this and that. But no, it's so many times, he won't admit it right now. Maybe give him a couple of months. He didn't go to work all the times he said he was going to work. There were many times